guys? How you doing? I am not driving. That was I hope you like that thumbnail. I'm pulled over, don't worry, don't worry. Just a quick check-in. This was totally unannounced, so I don't expect I'm gonna get a lot of visitors here today, but we'll see if anybody pops in. Hopefully my audio is okay. We'll see how this goes. Let me see if I can bear with me here just a second. All right, let's see if I can turn up the audio a little bit for you. So a couple quick things I just wanted to go over. Tomorrow night, when I usually do the Friday Night Prepper pre-party show, I will not be live. I'm actually going. I'm going camping, so I'm gonna get some more footage for you. The footage that you saw on Tuesday, if you saw the Tuesday bug out video, that actually was from October, from the last time I had went out. So this is my first trip out since October. I mean, of course, I do go day hiking and that kind of stuff, and have been staying busy with that. But this is actually, I'm going to get a couple nights out, so I'm very, very excited. So tomorrow night, I'm going to release, hey, Successful Slaves, good to see you. I'm going to release part 2 tomorrow night, 7:45, of the bug out video. Part 2 is coming out. And part 3, I have not started editing yet. So the reason I've held this for so long is the editing. Anyone who is a YouTuber will tell you, Earth Variety, so good to see you. I'm doing pretty good. Just chilling out on my lunch break here. Prepper Days, good to see you. Yeah, I'd like to hear it, Prepper Days. You can put it in chat here, or you can send it to me. Either one's fine. Anyone who does a YouTube channel will tell you that the filming is not the problem. The answering comments and interacting with the community and supporting each other, that's not the problem. It's the editing. Editing takes forever. And that footage that I took from the 5 mile bug out was just sitting there. Like, I loaded it up knowing that I was going to have to come back to it and edit it. And it was a booger because it was filmed in small segments. And I tried to upload it in order of filming as best as I could, knowing that it was going to be a booger later on to go back and try to put it together like a puzzle. And that's why I procrastinated it for so long. But thank you, everybody who's checked that out so far. Good morning, Dave Simmons. Good to see you. That's why I took so long to upload it. So part 2 is coming tomorrow night. Part 3, I got to look at and see how I'm going to edit it. I'm a little bit worried about that because that was near the end of my bug out, and I was getting a little bit tired, getting a little bit, I remember at one point, the sun was starting to go down, so I was starting to think about that. But I got to see what it looks like. I'll do what I can with it. You'll get part 3 most likely sometime next week. So this weekend when I go out, I'm gonna film some more stuff. Man, I gotta clean my car. I see all these little dust bunnies floating around. Vancity, it's good to see you. Actually, as soon as I'm done with my live stream, my next thing is I'm gonna check out that stream that you did with Heroic Prepper. LCS would lose small buyers, but already has a big buyer to bail him out if he closes. I feel you, Sarge. Yeah, editing is definitely the hardest part. So Vancity Prepper just popped in. If you all don't know her, check out her channel. I was on there last week, and she did an interview last night with Heroic Prepper, also another friend to the channel. So I'm going to be listening to that as soon as I'm done with this live stream. And what else do I got going on? So I'm going to film some food reviews this weekend. I got backpacking meals, things like that. We'll do some fire footage. We'll definitely get some camping footage. As you can see through the window there, right there, see how much rain we've been getting. So I'm a little bit worried about how dry the trails are going to be. We'll see. But I'm going out, so been looking forward to it for a long time. Oh, you're very welcome. You have great content. I appreciate you. So what else is going on? Yeah, so if you haven't checked in on, see those dust bunnies, man, that's driving me crazy. I swear to you, my car is not that unclean. I do take this thing regularly and get it vacuumed out, but those little dust bunnies are always floating around. I read that if you are sitting in light, they'll show up more. So I try to pick like a spot, and it's rainy today, so I didn't think it'd be a problem, but drives me crazy, man. If you haven't checked silver price today, silver spiked up big time this morning, like a couple percent, and that's pretty unusual. I mean, I know it is wartime. Precious metals do better during wartime, but that was a big spike for one day. Gold had gotten about a little bit above, also especially the firefighter. Yeah. Hey, Silver Scorpions, good to see you. It's the what are you eating? What are you eating, brother? I had hot dogs a little while ago. Um, I had filmed the last time when I went out in October, I had done some testing of like fire kits and different fire starters, and the footage just wasn't good, wasn't up to my quality. So I decided maybe I'll try to do it again this weekend. That's my biggest worry this weekend with all this rain that we got, getting a fire going, and the temperatures are supposed to drop to uh, here in South Carolina. This is unusual for this time of year. We're supposed to get down to like 40 degrees at nighttime, so this is going to be a good test for old Sarge and old Sarge's bones. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. Now I do have a 0 degree bag. Um, the my experience with those things is they may say they're rated to 0 degrees, but you got to add like 30 degrees onto the whatever they say. So it's going to be chilly. Um, if I don't get that fire going, it's not going to be a good time. What else is going on? So yeah. So if you haven't seen, I called this. Remember, if you watched my live stream a couple weeks ago, I said watch your prices on your fertilizer. And I said those are going to go next, and I was right. And it's not like I have a magic ball. I'm not like I don't have any inside information or anything like that. I Oh man, Eric, I hope not. I hope not. I hope we don't see $10 gas. But a lot of fertilizers are made from petroleum. So any product, including plastics, like plastics will be the next thing. Like if you use plastic containers, like my wife is a baker, sometimes we have to use plastic containers, right? If you use a lot of plastic bags or anything like that, if the company that you run is dependent on plastics, expect that to go up. And guess what? That's going to affect everything, folks. So you think that the inflation has been bad. You've not seen anything yet. Okay. And I feel you guys. I feel you. I work really three jobs plus I have some side income coming in from like investments and stuff like that. So I feel you. I mean, I can't work any harder than I am. I'm stretched out and we're doing okay. Like it's not like I'm in danger of not being able to pay bills or anything like that, but I feel for people that are not in the financial position that I'm in because we're struggling too. And I make an okay amount of money and I've got my side hustle and I got some extra money coming in from different places and things like that. So we do okay, but we're feeling it, and if we have to raise prices on our side businesses, that's a risk, which we try not to do that. Nope, they're not. If we try not to do that, I kept my prices flat on my consulting business for 2 years. In fact, for the first few months of the pandemic, I gave them away to free. But what I do, my side hustle, guys, if you're not familiar with it, I've talked about it before, but I'm a licensed therapist. I've been working in the field for almost 30 years now. And so I help people who are working on their independent licensure. So they have to get what's called like supervision hours, right? And so they have to mentor with somebody who is licensed and certified to do that, right? So to get that certification, you have to be in the field for so many years. You have to take a really long class. I mean, it's quite a process to get to the level where I'm at. And so I use that to help other people get to their next level of licensure. Okay. If you're not familiar with the field, some of that might not make sense. But I keep my prices very, very competitively low because I'm not in it to screw over my fellow therapists. I'm in it to help my fellow therapists get licensed, but my time matters too because it takes me away from my family. And so I have to charge something for it. So I keep it as low as I can. I gave a lot of it away for reading your comments there. Yeah, sugar's going to be way up. I gave a lot of it away at the beginning of the pandemic, not knowing how long that, remember 2 weeks to flatten the curve. So for several months, I was giving away free services to my supervisees. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Eric. Um, and then it got to the point like I can't give this away for free, forever. So I kept them low as I could for 2 years, and finally I had to raise my prices a little bit. My wife, same thing. My wife is a baker, independent, and she has kept her prices as low as she can. But now Flour is like through the roof, sugar's going up, and her containers are going to be going up. So we're trying to keep those prices flat for our customers. We really are. But if we're feeling this as a couple of small businesses, everybody in the country who's running a business is feeling it, right? And so all your prices are going to go up. Everything. We have not even touched the surface of what's possible for inflation. And I know that's scary. I don't run fear porn on my channel. I'm just giving you reality. Okay. Everybody, I'm gonna hold that thought. I had some thoughts about like, well, let's just pay people more. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I said to whenever people brought up that argument, yeah, I get it. Like I want to get paid more too, right? But then that price has to come from somewhere. So it always leads to inflation. Um, that's not how we got here, right? I mean, that's a small piece of it. That's not how we got here. A lot of businesses got ruined in the last 2 years. It's a shame. It's a shame what has happened. And now we're going from the forever war to this tension with the situation with the tension with the situation with Russia and Ukraine. And by the way, Ukraine is giving them a hell of a fight. My thoughts and prayers remain with the people of Ukraine, but that's not going to be over anytime soon, unfortunately. So here we are, folks. There's a lot going on. Despite all of what I just said, the world is not coming to an end, right? And so I follow. You guys know I participate in a lot of other channels. I go to your channels. I comment. I give you my thoughts. I participate in a lot of the forums, and group chats and things like that are going on other social media. And there's a lot of fear porn being sold right now, right? Some of my friends have been talking about this, like, hey, we got to start calling some of this stuff out, right? And there's people out there selling to you, the viewer, they're selling to you that the world is about to end, and that's just not the case, right? So if your channels are telling you that, just take a step back. Don't go into panic mode. Sort out what makes sense out of that stuff. Think for yourself. Do your own research, right? And remember, Sarge is getting old now. Sarge is getting old. There's more years in my past than there are in my future, and I can tell you that I can remember numerous times in my life that people were saying the world is about to end, and that's happened for every generation. Probably for 5,000 years, the world is about to end. Everybody thinks it's about them, right? But we are in crazy times, as Silver Scorpion says. We are in crazy times. I can tell you, just to validate that, right? To take the other side of that, having grown up in the 80s, we had the fear of the Cold War and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't like what it is now. Hey, Judy May, it's so good to see you. It wasn't like what it is now. The world didn't change with the pandemic, in my opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion now. The world changed with 9/11. Okay, and in my mind, there is a distinct difference between quality of life pre 9/11, post 9/11. Okay, we've never, with the forever war, and you guys know I work with people with trauma, I've worked with a lot of veterans, right? What we've done to an entire generation, with the forever war, and now hopefully we don't get involved in another war. Um, it was different. And I feel bad for people that didn't know what it was like to grow up in a quote unquote peacetime America, United States. Canada is also part of America, of course. Um, it was different. It was different. Yeah, we had the Cold War. We had fear. But it wasn't like it is now. And there was conflicts. To make no mistake, there was conflicts. The United States was involved with stuff going around the world, right? Some of it, which was never talked about on any news sources, but there was stuff going on. Our military was active in different regions, but not to the extent that it was after 9/11. Okay, so I can tell you that in the 1980s there was a celestial event where all the planets were coming into alignment, and it seems silly now, but a lot of people were predicting that was the end of the world. I can tell you that when Y2K came around, a lot of people were predicting that like the world was just going to erupt into chaos and anarchy and tribal warfare and this kind of stuff, right? It didn't happen. I can tell you that after 9/11, a lot of people thought like this is it. This is the end of the world. This is the beginning of World War III. Hey, Steve, it's good to see you. No problem. I'm not staying on long anyways. And of course it didn't. And this is not the end of the world either, right? So pay attention to the channels that are selling you that stuff. Just take a step back, give yourself a reality check. You do need to prepare. Tough times are in our presence and tough times are ahead, but Armageddon's not about to break out. At least not that I can tell, right? And I don't believe that personally. And yes, I am Christian. Um, the whole thing was ridiculous. You're right, successful slave, but there was a lot of fear mongering going on, right? All right, let me reel it back for you because I'm going to have to get going here in a second. Thank you, Prepper Days. I appreciate everybody that popped in today. This was completely unannounced. So tomorrow night, no live stream for me. 7:45, I will not be live, but at that time, I will release part 2 of the bug out series. You do have to be prepared. You're right, Judy, man. Keep in mind the spirit of those videos. I thought I was really clear, but a couple of the comments made me wonder if I wasn't clear enough that the spirit of that bug out series was not to prove anything to anybody. The spirit was to talk about how it's a fallacy. Okay. And I said it multiple times, but a couple people were, excuse me, I'm a little congested with the allergies going on. A lot of people were saying that, this was, kind of putting it out there like, we don't want people trying this or whatever. Well, I can tell you, I did my first bug out when I was like 13 years old. I had some training up to that point, and there was adults within walking distance if I needed to. But I, slept under the stars and that kind of stuff. So I don't want people to be completely afraid of doing a walkabout. Okay, all right. Thank you, Vancity Prepper. I don't want people to be afraid to do a walkabout. It's really fun. Know your terrain. Know your terrain. Let people know where you're going. Um, know what kind of snakes and bugs and stuff are venomous in your area, right? Do your research. When I did my first bug out, my first night out under the stars by myself, I had already had a lot of classes and training about that stuff. No, if you're not planning to go out for more than a night, you don't even have to worry about wild animals. That's something I teach you for fun and to increase your food self-sufficiency. I'm not saying go out and only eat wild animals, right? Um, so it's not as hard as people might be afraid of. Uh, but I'm also trying to explain that the idea of like that you're going to go and live in Appalachian mountains and pull a red dawn and fight the good fight and all this stuff, like it's complete bogus. There's probably 2% of people in this country that could sustain that for more than a couple weeks. And most of those guys are like special forces. All right. I have not. I'm not even military guys. Sarge is a nickname. I've told you guys that many, many times. But I've done a lot of survival training. I've done a lot of, preparedness, things like that. My dad gave me a lot of cold weather training. Probably gonna put some of that to use this weekend. And I've always liked plants and learned and that kind of stuff. So don't go out there. Your husband was an Eagle Scout. That is awesome. Yeah, it's so much fun. I don't want people to be afraid of it. I just want you to be knowledgeable, think it through, make your plans, let somebody know what you're doing. That's all. That's all. But the idea of that you're going to go live in the hills, no, come on, folks. And most people, we love to show our bug out bags. Definitely, if you're a prepper, put together a bug out bag. It's a super fun project. You're going to love doing it. And then use your kit, practice with your kit, learn about your kit. Um, but the reality is, like I said, Sarge is getting old. Like the longest one I ever did was 18 miles. That would be really, really taxing on me now. Could I do it in a survival situation? I believe I could. I could push myself, but that would be really, really hard on my body now. Could I work up to it again? Yeah, probably. I'm not there yet. I'm not that old yet, but most people who are out there, in YouTube land or on the forums and whatever, that's their plan. They're going to go live in the mountains and they're going to fight Red Dawn or whatever. I mean, come on. I've seen some of your packs, guys. Some of your packs are like 100-pound packs. I put it on and walk 5 miles. That's it. That's all I'm asking, right? If you can do that, then do Titans challenge. T2's challenge is to do 10 miles up, camp for the night, 10 miles back. Okay. I intentionally did not take that on because I'm not in the right condition for that right now. That was the message I'm trying to convey. I hope you guys like my bug out series. It definitely was a lot of fun making it. It won't be the last time I do something like that, but watch for part 2. Absolutely, absolutely, successful slave. And I've worked with a lot of people who have been homeless, and I've learned a lot from them too. Absolutely, they are survivors, and they know a lot of things about like where to find food, where to find fresh water, where to find shelter, things like that. So sometimes it's good to talk to them too. And if you know where they're, thank you so much. If you know where they're camping, bring them a case of water, bring them a bag of apples, things like that. Just be careful. Some of them have illnesses and things like that where they can be suspicious of other people. That's what I'm talking about, right? So you just gotta be careful. All right, guys, I got to roll. I want to check out Vancity Prepper's video here, her interview with Heroic Prepper. Thank you so much, Stuart. Always good to see you. Tomorrow night, watch for part 2. No live stream. Also, check out Bacon's live stream. He goes on super late because he's West Coast, but his live stream's always fun. And he's been a big help on my channel. He usually helps me moderate. So I love sending some people his way and giving him support. All right. You all make sure to check everybody out. I think everybody that was here today, or almost everybody that was here today, has their own channels too. Good community, good people. Check each other out. Have fun. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. If you haven't talked to your mom, give her a call. My mom's deceased. I wish I could call her. So I know somebody out there, you know what I'm talking about. You call your mom. When I'm done with this live stream, you get on there, you call your mom right now. You tell her you love her, all right? Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.